from the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. This is a severe weather alert.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Taylor Plott alongside Chase Wilson, and Fred Goss, Chief Meteorologist Fred Goss is in-house. He'll be here later on this afternoon for live coverage. This is your 2:30 update. We do have that tornado watch that is still in effect that was issued about maybe, 30 minutes ago?
About 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, close to 30 minutes ago, Chase. And this goes until 9 p.m. this evening. This includes the Pulaski area, Lawrenceburg, Waynesboro, and down towards the Shoals. The Hardin County and Tishomingo County tornado watch and west, that goes until 7 p.m. this evening, and then you go further east and that goes until 9 p.m. and there will be additional watches downstream. So if you're in Athens, Decatur, Hartselle, Moulton, Huntsville, Coleman, Fayetteville, east of Interstate 65, you'll eventually or more than likely have a watch later on tonight. But your time frame on things won't be until the late evening hours, most likely. So again, we're watching this tornado watch. Our storms are still off to the west. There is a flash flood emergency, by the way, here for the Memphis area, right in downtown Memphis, the Memphis metro area. So if you know anybody who lives in the Memphis vicinity, give them a call, give them a heads up. I imagine their phones have gone off, their radio has gone off. Your phone will go off for flash flood emergencies. They won't go off for typical flood warnings, but they will go off for this. So again, if you know anybody who lives in the Memphis area, give them a call, make sure that they're in the know that, hey, there's flash flooding that is going on and it is an emergency situation. We're still watching this big bow echo here that goes from Dyersburg all the way down to the eastern side of Memphis, back down towards Collierville, Tennessee. This will continue to track on off to the east. This will impact places like Humboldt and Jackson, Tennessee here in the next, I would say, 30 minutes or so. And this will track very close to our area. It'll be interesting to see how far south the potential damaging wind threat gets with this. I don't really see a tornado risk with this right now, but this is going to be our next one that we'll have to watch, as this could track generally towards the east. Chase, if you want to get a new storm track on that one, if this continues to move that direction, and the speed on that, what did we say earlier, was about 55 miles per hour?
Estimating about 55, yeah. Let me do a little editing here real quick.
Yeah, as he does some editing there, he's got to change out how long that track actually goes. There you go.
So there we go. We're starting to get into Hohenwald. And matter of fact, I'll change the start time for you.
Okay. So that gets to Jackson, Tennessee, 2:32. That was, I think it was 2:50 something. So yeah, generally around like 20 to 30 minutes, I believe. So again, this is now that, is that getting close to our area?
That's starting to trim northern Hardin, Wayne, and Lewis County. So we're starting to see the southern edge of that kind of creep here. And some of these smaller communities, that's, let me change a couple.
Let's make sure that those communities are actually close to where we're wanting to look here. So again, this is a while away, so it's not like we're about to get a severe thunderstorm warning for these towns. But as we get close to McNary, Tennessee around 322, Finger around 322, Palestine around 323, Sweet Lips around 324, Wildersville 325, Lexington 325, along with Timberlake, Stegall, I think, or Stegall, I believe is how it's pronounced potentially. If I'm wrong, you can correct me.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Rhodestown around 326, 40 Forks around 326, Yuma around 327, Center Hill, and Cabo around 328, and go out a little bit further.
Towards, Lewis County in about next couple hours.
Yeah, so this could be the fringe of that timeline here. So Hohenwald, you guys probably right around 4:30. Salem 431, and Bon Aqua around 431 as well. So again, that's if this continues to track in that general area. Again, that's not tornadic right now, but that does have some pretty good damaging wind potential with it, I believe. That supercell that did have a tornado warning on it that went through Jackson, Tennessee, is now this one right here. That's not going to be our problem. Our other issue is going to be further down towards the south, with these cells that are coming out of Arkansas. That is a very hefty looking embedded supercell there within the line that is just to the southwest of Clarksdale, Mississippi. It's just about to cross the Mississippi River into Mississippi. And this has a pretty good rotational signature on it. I've looked at it from several different radar sites, and it has some pretty good rotation with it. This batch, this will probably continue to move northeast, but the thing that we're going to have to watch is once we get towards the evening hours, model guidance shows this pushes in first, and then this kind of comes in towards the back side of it, and that's going to give us a long duration of some severe weather potential. If you take that track right now, it's got to go to about 240 miles before it gets towards the Lawrenceburg, Tennessee area, and that would be close to 750. So again, that's if does it have a speed associated with it? Did you put that as a speed?
That takes from the motions here at 55.
It takes from the motions here. Okay, so if it continues to move north-northeast at 55, then yes, it could potentially get into our neck of woods close around 7 o'clock. So we'll have to watch that, but that would have an associated damaging wind and tornado threat with it as well. But as you see right now across our immediate viewing area, we are bone dry. It's cloudy. You got some breaks in the clouds, but we're not dealing with any severe weather right now. We are watching these cells down here, but I don't think that they really make much of an effort to get all the way up here. I think if they start having issues down here with some severe weather, it's mainly going to be some damaging winds and some hail. But if they do, it's going to stay to our south most likely. Our environment up here is not, it's favorable for severe weather, but it's not the favorableness that we will have later on this evening. So we'll keep an eye on those, but I think that if they do anything, it's going to generally be south of Interstate 22 here in eastern Mississippi and western Alabama, but we're watching those very closely. Let's go ahead and go over to Links 1, and we'll take a look at our threats. So again, if you've been watching us, you know that we are still expecting severe weather threats across our area. Nothing has really changed with this, with the exception of the flooding potential. And the higher chances are going to be in Tennessee, primarily areas west of US 43. We're talking about Wayne County, Hardin County, McNairy County, and further off to the north, where you've had multiple rounds of rain already over the past couple of days. Your flash flood guidance is on the lower end of things, meaning that you only have to have an inch or two of rainfall before you actually get flooding issues out there. Further east and south across northern Alabama, you have that flood risk, but your flood guidance is a little bit higher. It's going to end up taking about 3 to 4 inches potentially of rainfall before you really start to have flooding issues, because you have not had much of any rainfall with this entire system. So this is going to probably be our main impact once we get into the evening hours, and it could be pretty significant out there. But we're also going to have to watch the tornado threat. A few tornadoes will be possible within the line, or any supercells that could manage to get going out ahead of the line. And we'll also have that high wind potential that could be around 60 to 70 miles per hour. I think our hail potential is on the lower side of things. The only way you're going to get a better chance of some hail, potentially over quarter size, is if you get those supercells that develop out ahead of the line. But I don't really think that's going to be a huge risk here, but it is something that we'll keep a close eye on. But like I mentioned, I think that flooding risk, that's going to be the highest threat that a large portion of at least the southern Tennessee area could be dealing with later on this evening. All right, let's go back to the watch real quick, and then we'll take one quick look back at the radar. Again, we have that tornado watch here until 9 p.m. This includes Wayne County, Lawrence County, Giles County, Marshall County, Murray County, and Lewis County in our viewing area, and points off to the north. It also includes Lauderdale, Colbert, and Franklin in northwestern Alabama. This side goes until 9 p.m. For Hardin County, McNairy County, and you've got Tishomingo County here in Mississippi, and points off to the west, that tornado watch goes until 7 p.m. So you have some different times here. But again, like I mentioned, you're not in a watch in Athens, you're not in a watch in Huntsville, Decatur, or Moulton right now, but you most likely will later on this evening. One quick look back at the radar, and then we'll toss you back to regular scheduled program. Because I noticed that they extended that tornado warning down here that goes into the Clarksdale area. So again, this is the one that we'll have to watch. If it keeps going this way at its current speed, again, it could get to, let's see what, do that TOA for kind of that Alcorn, Prentice, and kind of this area. If it continues moving in that direction and there's no change in the way that the QLCS, that whole line of storms, kind of goes. Sometimes it can slow down a portion of the line, and the northern part can kind of speed up. So that's what we're watching for. If it keeps at its current pace, though, it could get to the Corinth and Iuka areas close to 6 to 6:15. Again, that's if it continues on its current track and its current speed. So that's just a quick heads up for you all. And then if it keeps going, it would be close to about 6:30 to 7 o'clock here for southern Tennessee. All right, that's what we're watching. No active warnings in our viewing area, but we're here watching things, and we'll be here in a moment's notice if there is a warning that is issued for our area. For meteorologist Chase Wilson, for Chief Meteorologist Fred Gossage, I'm meteorologist Taylor Plott. Thank you for sticking with us here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We'll keep you advised.